What's up, everybody? Finally got to try out the new Outpost Rush map. These first couple clips are my normal Hatchet Serenity build, but the majority of the video is Hatchet and Greataxe. It's basically just what I've been enjoying more on this map so far. It's a lot better for just being able to chase people down, because it is a lot more condensed than the original map, which is nice because range doesn't have just such a huge advantage. But at the same time, you still get people running up and down levels all the time, so Greataxe just comes in really handy for chasing people down. Still spend most of the time on the Hatchet anyway, so it's not a huge deal. The only downside really is just dealing with tanks. Greataxe just isn't nearly as good of an answer to Tower Shield as Serenity is. But so far I'm really enjoying the map. Got some 1vx, but a lot of these clips are basically just going to be clump fights, because people were actually playing the objective a lot more for the most part, so getting a lot more clump fights. And I'll go over the build at the end, because I know people always ask what I'm running, even though I change it all the time anyway. But for this map, I definitely think I'm going to be sticking with Tumbler Feet Wraps for the most part. Like you can see in some of these clips, it's just way easier to be able to constantly keep uptime on Shuriken Fort, since you're just actually in clumps for once instead of just out in the open chasing people. Hit a quick reset here, go back inside. This guy already forgot I exist, I guess. But one of the main reasons I'm really enjoying Greataxe is because I haven't really played it since the last time they did an update to it, which I think was the Eternum patch. But they changed how the root on heavy attack works, so now people actually get rooted for about half a second instead of how it used to be. Okay, bet was chase me with this guy. I guess he said the hell with that, but I got nothing but time for muskets that just want to run away. So I open up with a heavy attack a lot, and I see these guys are outnumbered 2 tanks and a healer versus these 2, so I figure I might as well go back and help them real quick before I go back to the main ball fight. But this Greataxe I'm using also has Trench and Rend on it, so I try to open up with a heavy attack as much as I can. But heavy into Maelstrom is enough to take out quite a bit of people, honestly, as long as it's not another one of these stupid shield bots. But this is one of the moments where I really, really wish I had Serenity. Just got tower shields everywhere, and I'm basically just holding down mouse 1, waiting for somebody to throw up a block. Here comes a 3rd tower shield, and Easy tries to dive in out of nowhere, and then I think he decided he didn't want that fight. So he takes off, and we go back to trying to stand break the damn tower shields. So honestly, if there was a weapon perk you could get for extra block stamina damage, like, I'd really consider taking it right now. Like, these guys are just so damn annoying, and it's making me really consider playing just like Serenity Greataxe together and just dropping my favorite weapon altogether just to be able to deal with these idiots. But these guys are over here just free casting. Apparently main ball fight found its way to me, so not just gonna let them sit there cast for free. And if anybody still thinks Hatchet tracking is OP, like, they've nerfed it so hard that they reintroduced rubber banding. So that's always fun. If somebody's on high ping, like, they might as well have a like a tiny force field bubble around them. It's just impossible to hit. But managed to get 2 down here, and then this is like Melee's worst enemy, IGVG. And he's running Life Taker on top of that, so I'm just constantly 30% rend. So basically just trying to stall for time here until I get my pot up, but now we can finally go back in. It's just really hard to stay on top of these guys with just all the roots, the slows, just everything they have at their disposal. But if my Reap actually went where I was aiming instead of the way my character was facing, probably get the kill, but it gets stolen by a range red anyway. Overall, I'm really enjoying the map, but I think that's also partly because a lot of the range rats haven't realized what an advantage they would have with some of the high ground that they've put in place, because I really haven't seen many people actually take advantage of it yet. So we'll see how it feels once the Dex rats catch on. By the way, this is why I'm still running like 40% fire resist. Like, this shit is so stupid. But for now, really enjoying the map. It's way less open, way more condensed. Like, you can get from one point to the other in no time. Like, I don't feel like I need to have Zephyr Cakes to be able to play on this map versus the old map. Like, I felt like I was at such a disadvantage if I didn't run Zephyrs. And honestly, a lot of the time I don't even bother mounting up, running between like the two side points or something. Like, they're so close together, by the time you get on your mount, you're basically there anyway. But this is a pretty good example of one change that I like that they made. There's 3 doors on every fort instead of 2. So it's just a lot easier to attack the door and actually fight your way back in without worrying about just getting shot down at as much. Especially on the middle door for some reason. There's only one tiny ledge for people to stand on to actually shoot down at you. So if you do need to try and break in, the middle door is definitely the way to go on the side forts. But this is one thing that kind of tilts me about clump fights. Like, I do all this damage, get all these guys low, and then some range rat ends up hitting them for like 10 HP and gets the kill anyway. The Greataxe I'm using right now is kind of a meme. This was the only one I had laying around that had Crippling Reap on it. It also has Plagued Crits and Trenchant Rend. So again, opening up with heavies a lot, and basically at least light attacking or hitting with abilities until I get 1 crit. Get some stuff like this match literally just started, and we already got a full 4 stack of PvE rats building up our home base for some reason. So, breaking through the middle door so they can't shoot at me as much, and I'll just honestly kind of mow these guys down real quick. But for the Greataxe, I definitely recommend going Crippling Reap on the axe itself. And then you end up with a lot of these situations because people refuse to walk out the side door, even on this map, where it's actually like convenient to go out the side map. It's not like out of the way. It takes you right to your side fort in like 2 seconds, and people still, I don't understand why, they'll get full held and just keep running out the bridge straight to mid. So you end up getting a lot of 3 cap matches where people just get spawn camped on this stupid bridge over and over because they're just stubborn, I guess. But gotta hit a quick reset every once in a while just because healers are still putting all the heals on the range rats instead of the people in the front. But this guy gets healed basically to full almost immediately, so I'm like, alright, well, gotta find the healer somewhere. Can't just be letting tank standing in a sacred ground. Never gonna kill that guy. So finally find this guy. He almost gets away with 1 HP, but it's one nice handy thing about the Greataxe, just nice AoE damage. And this is a completely separate match, but literally same result. Like, we're 3 capping them already, and they're just getting rolled on the bridge over and over. It's kind of crazy to me. Nobody's like adapted their playstyle whatsoever. Oh, and this guy was aimbot blunderbuss, so went out of my way to get him. But it's kind of crazy that nobody's like just adapted their build even slightly for this yet. Like, just throw on medium armor at least, or 1 melee weapon instead of like musket life taker and just being helpless if somebody gets on top of you. I don't know. I guess the meta will change eventually once this map's up like full time, but for now it's melee's kind of just running the show, which is a nice change of pace. I mean, we had 3 damn years of OPR. And one last clip before we go into the build guide. I normally don't bother with single kill clips, but this guy sent me some fan mail, so I had to let him know. See you guys in the guide. I'll go over this build pretty quick because it's pretty similar to basically just exactly the same thing I ran for a long time, just going back to it now. So for the helmet, Enchanted Ward, Shirking Heals, Critical Retribution. I have Shirking Heals on every piece for this build. And Critical Retribution, people meme about this perk a lot, but if you're on a weapon that kind of really counts on a lot of critical damage, you really notice when you don't have this. So it's nice to have. Frigid Dawn chest, Shirking Heals, same thing for the legs. Gloves, LE version, Shirking Heals, and third perk doesn't really matter. Tumblers with Shirking Heals, but eventually, before the new map goes live, I would like to replace pretty much all of these. All I want is Enchanted Ward, Shirking Heals, and Slash Conditioning. Got a pretty strong feeling once the new map is live full time, we're gonna probably see a comeback on a lot of slash weapons. So I'm just gonna start getting that gear ready now. For the amulet, Divine is nice to have with Shirking Heals and Blood Drinker. It's just a lot of extra self healing. Thrust protection. Not super picky about which protection this is right now. You see I'm running a lot of fire resist, so wouldn't care if this was thrust, fire, as long as it's something that you're actually getting hit by a lot. There's no reason not to run some kind of protection. It's a free 15% absorption against something. Shrinking of Power just feels really nice even with the tumblers, because it's way easier to keep uptime on this because it'll refresh its own cooldown as long as you dodge an attack once within a 10-second window. Blood Drinker, slash damage. This pretty much never changes for me anymore. Experimented with Keen Awareness, Moral Empowerment, slash damage is just way more consistent. Earring, went back to my old earring, Fortifying Toast, Healing Heart, and Regenerating. I tried playing without regenerating for a while and going Refreshing Toast, but since I play with Zephyr Cakes a lot, and Zephyr Cakes doesn't have the passive healing that Attribute Food does, you kind of really notice not having any regenerating whatsoever. So this is really nice to have. For the hatchet, sadly, there's no way to easily recreate this. So this is a crafted hatchet. Keen Berserk feels like a must-have on the hatchet now. I stopped running Refreshing Torrent altogether because it's so often that you only get 2 hits and people automatically panic dodge that it's just not worth running, in my opinion. It's not even worth a armor spot anymore. If they ever fix melee tracking, then I'll start running it again. A Greataxe, I'm probably just going to go to the island, the Well of Fortune, and get that axe, just to have a 725 axe and put Crippling Reap on it. Vicious and pen crits is good enough. Plate crits, having double plate crits is kind of nice. Trencher End's honestly kind of nice on the Greataxe, just because, like I was saying in the video, I open up with a heavy attack a lot because of the way the root works now. So I don't hate this perk, but Vicious is probably still just better overall anyway, or Trenchant Strikes. Either one I'd be fine with, but the Island Greataxe would just be easier to get. I tried running this with an Onyx, but I mostly use this for chasing people down that are running away, so Emerald just makes way more sense, and it's way more consistent damage. Even 200 con, get 15,888. It is what it is. 50 dexterity and everything else in a strength. For the weapon mastery, I did stop taking this. I've been running this passive forever, but it's just slowed me down so much, and with how often people dodge after getting hit by 1 or 2 hits of Torrent, and then you're just standing there swinging at air, this really just feels super clunky at this point. So I finally stopped taking this and just started taking aim throw again, but everything else stayed the same. For my Greataxe tree, most people don't take this, but I spend a lot of time smacking stupid tower shields, so once I do break their stamina, it is kind of nice to just know that I have this extra damage buff. I think that's about everything. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to throw them in the comments. I try to respond to everybody, and I'll see you guys on the new map.